Hello everyone, welcome to this lecture on solar power system. In this lecture, we will understand various components of solar power system and their role in designing of solar power system. So the objective of this lecture are to study different components of PV system, then to understand role of all these components for designing solar power system. So let's get started. So when we use solar power system, we think that only PV modules are enough. A number of PV module will be converting solar energy, heat energy into electric energy, and that output is in DC form. For large scale generation of solar electricity, solar panels are connected in solar array. So solar cell is a basic unit of solar module. Then by combining so many solar cells either in series or parallel, you can form solar module. And for large scale, we connect n number of solar panel in series or parallel to form solar array. Although the solar panels are the heart of PV system, but apart from this, we need some other components. So these components are also called as balance of system or BOS. So let's take an overview of standalone solar power system. In standalone system, we want to generate the energy at particular point and we don't want to feed it to any other distribution side or grid side. So here there will be three parts. First one is PV panel, second one is middle heart component of this system, balance of system, and third one is load or output side. PV panel are formed by solar cells and solar array. Then normally the output of this PV panel is DC voltage and that is also unregulated. So to make that voltage regulated and depending on load, you have to use either power converters. So if you are using storage battery, so the DC voltage is connected to the battery through the charge controller, and this charge controller will charge this battery at required specification. Once the battery is charged, we can have a DC load or AC load. If we have a DC load, we can directly feed the power by battery to the DC load. But if the load is AC load, we have to give the power of this battery to the inverter section here, and this inverter output will be connected to the AC load. So depending on kind of load, we have various options, whether you need storage or not, whether there is a battery or not, if it is standalone or grid connected, there are various possibilities of it. So for standalone system, we have a very simple option. We have DC load or AC load, then we have a panel, and in between we have charge controller, storage and inverter. BOS consists of charge controller, storage, that is battery, and inverter. And on output side, we need loads like fan, tube light, machines, computer or anything. When we take grid connected system, normally the idea here is to generate the power and send it to the grid. So here we don't need batteries here. So this need only panel of large size, normally few kilowatts to megawatt range, and we need an inverter. We call it as grid tie inverter here. So there is only one component which is required, and this grid tie inverter is regulating the power with required frequency with the grid, and it is connected to the grid through the cabling arrangement. And now grid will distribute that power to the various load. Now there is one more option. If this power is generated at domestic level or home user level, they can have this low power, let's say 1 kilowatt to 5 kilowatt generation capability. They will use inverter. During the day, whatever power they generate from this solar panel, and they will convert first it into AC power using inverter. They connect it to the grid, and during evening they take the power back from grid to the home. So in a day, if let's say we are generating 4 units with 1 kilowatt plant, and in night if we need 3 units, so every day we will be getting 1 unit price back from utility. So 30 units will be recovered, and depending on utilization, either excess utilization happens from, let's say, by the customer, they have to pay the amount of excess amount to the utility, or if they use less amount than their generation, utility has to pay an amount to the user. So this plant is normally, or these grid connected systems are normally made for high power application, or if there are users, they can also have this generation capabilities. Next is, we will see all these things in detail now. Now depending on your system, as I told you, for grid connected system you don't need batteries, charge controller, only inverter is required, and that inverter we call as grid tie inverter. Now let us understand all these components in more detail. So the first part is PV panel. This is the heart of this system. Now we'll start with first PV panel. Now PV module consists of solar cell. So individual unit is solar cell. It is capable of generating voltage which is called as 0.6 volt. Normally there are 4 parameters to understand electrical parameters. First we call as short circuited current, ISC. We will understand all these things when we learn characteristics of solar cell, IV characteristics. Then open circuited voltage, VOC, and third is power, maximum power, Pmax. So a single cell is capable of generating very low power or very low voltage. So depending on the requirement, number of solar cells, here you can see that this is one cell. Like this, there are n number of cells are connected. So you can form solar module. So this is called as solar module, and this solar module or solar panel is normally of few watts, 12 watt, 100 watt, depending on the combination, and you can connect these solar modules in series or parallel if you need 1 kilowatt. So let's say if you want a voltage demand of 1000 volt, and if you have a panel of 100 volt, so number of solar panel required are 1000 divided by 100, so it will be 10. So depending on panel you have available, depending on the voltage requirement, depending on the current requirement, you need to connect them in series or parallel. So we will talk about them in more detail in upcoming lectures. Now there are two technologies which are used. First one is crystalline silicon and second is thin film. So both technologies have their own advantages and disadvantages. That is not the part of this lecture discussion. We will talk on various technologies which are used in more detail in upcoming sessions. Now second part is balance of system. Now this BOS system is responsible for making or keeping the unregulated power toward the regulated side. Here, as we know that whatever radiation falls on the solar panel here through the sun is dependent on climatic, or it depends on temperature. If that changes, the output of solar panel will change, and if the output of solar panel will change, the systems, if it is directly connected to the load, for example with solar panel, it will affect the performance of AC load or DC load or even to the grid, because they need constant voltage and constant frequency. So our motto here is to give or offer constant voltage and constant frequency, and that you can do using this BOS system. So depending on this, if you have a grid tie inverter, if you want to have a grid connected system, you can use grid tie inverter and other things. So in this system there will be 6 different components. First one is charge controller, storage, third is cable, next is DC to DC converter, inverter, and mounting fins. So these systems will perform the important part. So let us understand the role of each component in more detail. So first is mounting structure. A mounting structure is used to fix the module and to direct them towards the sun. Here you can see a typical example. This picture we take from Oregon Department of Transportation. So here you can see that these people are framing the structure. Now while framing it, you should make sure that you need to do survey of that site, and you need to know various latitude and altitude issues, and you need to know how can you generate maximum power. Next is cable. Cable are the important part. Whenever we generate some power, either through solar panel, when you have to connect it to the grid, the role of cable is important, and normally it is expected that solar power has to work for 20 to 25 years. So while selecting cables, you need to know that its life should be higher, right? So decide selection of cables depending on the reliability. cables are used to connect the different components of PV system with each other and to the electrical load. It is important to choose cable of sufficient thickness in order to minimize resistive losses. Second part is energy storage. In standalone system, if you want to store the energy, this energy storage will help you if there is a fluctuation in temperature or if there are cloudy days. So you can do one thing, whatever power you get, DC power, you can store it in storage element such as battery, which is shown on your right hand side here. So battery gives you a reliable energy source availability option at night or cloudy days. Only thing is it needs replacement after 5 or 10 years. And when you go with this sort of control, you have to pay for extra cost compared to the grid connected system. But it gives you benefit that you don't have to depend on utility. You can have your own energy sources and you can store it, and whenever you want to utilize the energy, just by connecting the battery voltage to the inverter, that is DC to AC converter, you can process the store energy into your voltage. If you have a DC load directly, you can directly connect the DC output to the DC load. So when standalone systems are used with decentralized control, batteries are recommended. Even if do not use battery, that is not an issue. Only thing is, in absence of solar energy, you will have to dependent on grid. So this is putting higher cost and you need replacement. And this is also safety concern. Normally batteries are creating some issues. Now DC to DC converter. If you are using some storage element like battery, now you know that batteries need to be charged with proper voltage and current rating. So for this we need DC to DC converters or charge controllers. So charge controller is another part, but one more part is when we get the output of solar cell, that is DC, and that DC voltage is a function of radiation or temperature. If the radiation or temperature is changing, the DC voltage will change. So to make that DC voltage constant, because the DC voltage will act as an input to the inverter and inverter will convert that fixed DC into fixed AC. Now our role is to have fixed AC, that means its RMS value should remain constant. In order to keep that voltage constant, you should make input DC voltage constant, which is coming from the solar panel. And we know that that voltage is a function of temperature and that may fluctuate. If it fluctuates, the output of AC load which is connected will fluctuate. So in order to solve this issue, we must use DC to DC converter with closed loop control. So DC to DC converters are used to convert the module output, which will have a variable voltage depending on the time of day and weather condition to fix the output power. That can be used to charge a battery, or that can be used as an input for an inverter in case of grid connected system. So to keep the grid voltage and frequency constant, you need to have this DC to DC converter. Now these DC to DC converters are of different topologies: buck converter, buck boost converter, or boost topologies. So for this you need to have understanding of power electronics converters. Now the next part is, normally we have a AC load and the power we get from solar is DC. We regulate it with charge controller, battery and DC to DC converter. If the load are DC, we can directly connect the DC power to the load, but if load are AC, we have to process the DC power into AC power, because grids are AC. If loads are AC, you need AC power. So inverter or DC to AC converters are used in grid connected system to convert the DC electricity originating from the PV module into AC electricity that can be fed into the electric grid. So there are various inverters, single phase or three phase inverter. Normally PWM inverter are preferred, and in case of grid connected system, these inverters are called as grid tie inverter. There are various companies like Schneider, ABB, they are offering various kind of solutions. Charge controllers. As I told you that when you want storage, and in that case you are trying to use battery, and batteries need to be charged with proper current rating. So in order to charge batteries with optimum rating, you need to have this charge controller block. So this charge controller blocks are having 12 volt, 24 volt charging capabilities. If your battery is of 24 volt, you need a charge controller which can charge it charge a battery of 24 volt. So here on picture it is shown that 12 volt or 24 volt charging of battery. This will avoid overcharging. This will also will not overcharge the battery if the battery is directly connected to solar cell, and if the solar cell output or solar panel output fluctuates or increase, it will overcharge it and it will damage it. So what we do in that case, we place a charge controller between solar panel and a battery. Charge controller will charge the battery with proper voltage and current rating, so it will avoid overcharging of the battery and thus provides us overcharge protection. It will help us to preventing unwanted discharge. Like for example, your battery is charged, right, and if there is no solar energy, so you are converting the battery energy which you have stored into the AC voltage using inverter. So when you try to do this, you have to use inverter. So this inverter will dependent on the requirement which you need. So if load are taking more power, sometimes battery may discharge. So this charge control will also take care of discharging of this battery. It has also embedded circuitry for maximum power point tracking. Next is, let us understand loads. Now loads are also the critical part. On this side it is highlighted here. So you have AC load or DC load and grid. So these are the three important components. Normally these are defined by user side and they also have important significances, and based on that you have to process the power. So let us summarize what we have learned in this lecture. We started with
the broadcast is now starting.
Various components of various components of solar power system. Then we understood three components: PV panel, balance of system and output component. PV panel consists of solar cell, solar array and solar module. POS consists of charge controller, then battery that we call as storage, DC to DC converter, inverter, cables and mounting frame. And the last one is output side. So we have output as AC load or DC load, and grid is also the part of it. Thank you.